Well, just like that, here we are, back again for some number episode. You know, I like it that I've lost count, which means there's too many to count at this point. We're not in the thousands yet, but we're definitely not in the hundreds yet either. I don't know what that means. Here we are. Welcome to Mostly Sorry podcast. I had to kick my cat off of this chair. He was having a nice little nap. He got pretty pissed at me, and now he's sleeping behind the camera, staring at me. And he keeps writing little signs that say, "This podcast is gonna suck." So we got to prove him wrong. Who knows? If he's right, I'll give him the credit where it's due. But let's try to knock this one out the park for the feline community. They don't, as if they don't get enough love on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm here as always with my producer, co-host, friend, and today, partially crippled. He's got a broken toe, which is he put it in the camera. It's disgusting. Also, don't send me pictures of your feet. This isn't. Save that for your OnlyFans. I don't know if I have an aversion to men's feet and just gross feet in general. Technically, guys' feet are usually more gross because I think culturally there's more of a pressure on women to go do the nail thing and stuff. I might be wrong. I don't know. That's just in America, it feels like. Maybe. Who knows? But guys' feet are fucking tore up from the floor up, and yours are no exception. I'm just kidding. Anyway, how's the foot doing? How are you doing today, David?
I'm good. I was just scrambling because I didn't have an SD card in the recorder, so I was already dropping the ball, but I did it. I put it in there. You were rambling so much that I had time to put the SD card in before I even talked, so we saved
I'm
it.
glad.
We saved the podcast. We didn't have to
Hell
start
yeah,
over.
I'm
I'm doing
glad.
good. My
It
foot's
it
fine.
doesn't
I hurt
matter.
myself.
Go ahead. Sorry, we had a weird thing with the connection again. Someday we're going to figure this out, but you were saying what?
Just hurt my foot, man. I don't know what I was saying. I think I have a broken toe. I've never broke my toe before. I'm a little bit older than I used to
Dude,
be
it
yesterday.
sucks, man.
And yeah, it sucks. But whatever. Who cares? At least I got feet. Haha.
That's true.
Haha,
That's
you
true.
footless people. Haha. Haha, footless people. I got feet.
I don't get where
I don't know.
that's coming
That's
from.
weird.
That's kind of that's aggressive. I guess you got to look for all the positives, even if that means shaming people who said absolutely nothing to you. But and you heard it skateboarding, which is kind of cool. When I broke my toe, I broke it kicking the ground. So that's not
I mean, I think technically, I think I did too. I think I kicked the ground. I just was flying off a skateboard, so I didn't
mine
really
was
know what happened.
Mine was embarrassing because the embankments that cars have to drive in to get like a driveway. I had a soccer ball at the bottom of one of those, so when I kicked to like chip it, not thinking about the incline. Here, I'm gonna do it with my hands for you people out there. I was here, and I kicked like this, like straight into the incline. I think I completely missed the ball, and it sucked. And everybody just tells you the same thing when you tell them that they can't do anything for it. The doctors just tape it to the next toe. That's it. So it took me about 6 to 8 weeks to get back to normal.
That's not what I want to hear.
Well, a broken bone, man, 6 weeks. It takes. It was okay before that, but until I was fully ready to like move around on it was painful, dude. So, I know that it's not what you want to hear, but sometimes
okay.
the things we need to hear are not the things we want to hear.
I was gonna say that I had sex with your grandma, but whatever. I mean,
well, I didn't. I didn't want to hear that.
when you,
That was weird.
yeah,
Why'd you have to do that?
whatever.
Wow.
Because sometimes the things that you don't want to hear are the things that you have to hear.
Damn,
But,
retaliation rears its ugly head and ugly toes, which is where we're at here. But yeah, dude, I was gonna say, I know you can't really see me, but do you notice anything different about me, Dave? Id? That's
Say it
right.
again?
I was just gonna say you can't really see me, but do you notice anything different about me, Dave? Id? Do you like when?
No,
do you
I
care if
don't.
people call you Dave? Does that bug you?
I don't really care. Nah, not really. But it's not my name.
Yeah, I know it's weird. Anyway,
Is your
you're
name
absolute.
Joe? Is your name Joe?
No, I hate it. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a good. Wow, he came with the aggressive. There's, I like this though. You should, you have this aggressive energy about you today that I like because it feels powerful. It feels like you're getting stuff done with this attitude. Maybe you're just cranky though because you've hurt your toe, and that's
Exactly. It's
probably
the
should.
opposite. I'm not getting anything done. I have a fucking busted toe. It sucks.
Um,
About to sit in bed all day and watch WandaVision or some bullshit. But Joe,
yeah,
I called you Joe.
it's
But
fine.
Joe,
Yeah,
seriously, this is your podcast, and this is how we start your podcast
that's
every
right.
time. We always talk about you and how you're feeling. Who gives a shit about me? I'm just here to make it sound good. So
Yeah.
Joel Jimenez, jumping
Yes.
Joel Jimenez.
Yeah.
How you feeling, buddy? How you feeling? How's your mindset?
I'm doing okay. I think that life is just a swirling toilet of emotions, and that's just how it is. So I'm always sort of feeling 50 different things at once. Sometimes they're in the forefront of my mind. Sometimes they're so crazy that you can't shove them back. You just have to go through it. Luckily, right now, today, that's not there. There's a couple things that I've just shoved real deep down inside, and eventually I'll go to therapy and I'll figure those things out. But I'm doing okay. Did some heavy stuff this week. I had a very close person, like family and friend, pass away recently. So I attended a service for them this week, and it was really hard, but a very beautiful service nonetheless. And it was. I don't know. There is this really, to me, I really love tradition, and I loved the tradition of a send off for something so serious as someone passing. And even though it is really awful to say goodbye, I think that there is something really beautiful about having the moment and the ability to give a proper send off to someone, because sometimes people don't get that opportunity in life. So I was grateful, and also really I thought it was a really beautiful service. And then also this week, I was gonna say I look different, and I was gonna ask if you noticed anything different about me. And yes, you're right. I did become a godfather this week, which is pretty awesome. I am a godparent, um, to one of my best friends in the whole world's daughter, and that's exciting. And I don't know. It's just an honor, and I really love the family, and so I'm really excited to be that person, and sort of be a positive influence on this kid, and enforce drumming on this child at a very young age, because she is already like kind of. And I know, like, people always say, like, my kid is this, my kid is that. I get it. Kids are pretty talented and gifted, but this kid has timing, whether it's comedic or, dude, we handed her a tambourine the other day, and she like played the she's 11 months, and give her a pair of sticks, and she, anytime music is playing, she's dancing, she's rocking out. So I think she's gonna have, and who knows, she might rebel and want nothing to do with music at a certain point, but I feel like music is a fun foundation for anyone. Like, I wish I had more of that in my life as a kid, and more like cool music, because I had a music teacher in school, but she was not cool. Her name was Mrs. Aller, and we called her Mrs. Holler because she was. Now that I would like to transport back and see if she actually had the chops of a singer, but I feel like she wasn't that great of a singer, so the name kind of fit. But acoustic guitar. I believe she was either Scottish or Irish, and would come in Catholic school and sing us religious songs. Which, by the way, some of those religious songs are bangers, dude. Sometimes when I hear some especially, I think, like, especially Catholic, or like those songs, a lot of minor chords, very almost like sorrowful songs sounding, for lack of a better word. And I promise, for those people out there that hear me saying that, eventually I will think of a better word, but until then, That might be a T-shirt idea eventually when we get 1 billion followers. For lack of a better T-shirt, is a pretty cool T-shirt design. I think I wouldn't wear it, but maybe you guys would. But man, those
That's always a good rule when making T-shirts. Make sure to make one that you would never wear. That's a really good rule.
I mean, yeah, it's not about me. It's about what the people want. You know, I was talking
Right.
about a little bit about that with my music. And then we'll slowly get into this podcast and some of these ideas that I have to talk about today. It's these notes that I've taken. Are you proud of me? Anyway.
Not yet, but let's
okay.
see. Sounds promising.
Damn it. I just completely lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was saying. What were we saying?
Who cares? You were talking about Catholic songs. That's boring shit.
Catholic
Move
songs. How dare you? No, Catholic songs, lack of a better word. Oh, T-shirts. There we go. We're almost done with this punk project. Chris is just doing his guitars and sending them in. And then, I've been dealing with the idea that what if these songs, once they're mixed and they're done, that I don't like them? And I've sort of thought of the idea that it doesn't really matter if I like them or not. Of course it does a little bit, but when you're finished with the songs, they're kind of not yours anymore. Like, say I put it out, how many times have you put out a project and your least favorite song is the one that people like the most? And that's not for me to say at a certain point. So once I release this project, it's not mine anymore. It's the people that enjoy it, and so if I completely hate it and it never sees the light of day, but then what? I need to get out of my own way, and be like, well, if I hate it, I don't know. What do you think the balance is for that? Because I think that once I put it out, it's if people like it, they like it, and who am I to say, I don't like that? Because that always feels weird when someone's like, hey man, I like that thing you did, it's great, and you're like, yeah, it sucked, because you're basically saying those people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I'm interested in that balance of feeling proud of a project or not liking it at all, but other people really enjoying it. What are your thoughts on that? And then maybe we can have a bit of a discussion on art not being yours after a certain point.
Yeah, I don't really know about that. But there's one thing I know. I don't trust people who like their stuff too much. People who are really interested in just listening to their own stuff all the time. Like, I don't really trust those artists. People that are really like, I don't know. I've always been searching for the balance of like, I like that thing, but I don't want to see it anymore because I've just like seen it too much and just like, that's how I feel about the most proud. Like, let's say the Door Guy zine. That's probably like right now the thing that I'm the most proud of.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it anymore. I don't want to see it. I don't know if people like it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to push it anymore. I'm done with it. I'm ready to move on to something else. Or, I was really proud to drop in on Tony Hawk's Vert Ramp, but I can't watch that video. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
If I put music out, I'm not going to listen to my own music. I'm not going to watch my own comedy specials. Like,
I'm starting to get closer to that. I used to love watching stuff I did, I guess because it reminded me that I accomplished something, It's like the first year on Kill Tony, I would watch the episodes, and then I stopped being able to because it started to affect my performance week to week. I would almost like try to recreate those moments, and I just couldn't, and it would also fill me with regret at times.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like. I think there's a balance, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't trust people who like overly obsess on their own stuff, and I know people who will only listen to their own shit.
Yeah,
and
that's
I just
a
think
great.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a great point. I remember when I was like doing theater and stuff. I had a friend. I just haven't talked to him in a while. Legitimate, like a real actor, like a real artist. Not like legitimate sort of weirdo in the best way, and just a true actor. And I think eccentric, and stuff like that. And I remember him talking to me about how the worst actors love their shit, and like the best actors always hate it. They always are striving. And so I guess what we're getting at is, and he would do this impression of like, in a British accent, he'd be like an actor, the worst actor in the world, like leaving after filming his scene, would come off and be like, "You see what I just did in there? You might as well shut off the cameras because nothing that anybody's gonna do is any better than what I just accomplished in there." Like what like that, and just being like, "Damn!" Like, and if you think about it, all the worst actors probably watch their shit and go like, "Damn, that was good. Like, did you see that? Did you see what I did in there?" Where all the best actors, you see them, they're all uncomfortable with watching scenes that they did because all they're doing is judging all the minutia about what just happened in there. And he would never watch anything he
You
was
see it with
in.
comics too. I mean, you see it with comics
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
Yeah,
All the time.
musicians. Yeah, you're
mean,
right.
like,
but,
you know,
yeah. But let's
like,
talk about. I like this. Let's get into it.
Eric Myers is a great example. Rest in peace, Eric Myers. Is a chance
Rest
to,
in peace, man.
to give
Dude,
him a little.
I
nod.
never met the guy. I know he was hilarious, and I know him and Pat worked together. Shout out to Pat Reagan. He and Pat was saying how funny the guy was, and just
Oh yeah.
just watching him
Amazing.
crush, man. And yeah, and it's and I watched, people, these clips of him are circulating, and they're just so funny. Like his job application to Taco Bell bit.
Oh
Just
yeah,
look,
yeah. The
look
Taco
up
Bell
Eric
bit was
Myers.
insane.
It's yeah,
But he struggled.
yeah.
He struggled. He struggled. Like he had insecurities, anxieties,
Yeah, I've heard. Man.
constantly worried
Mhm.
about his abilities. And this guy would crush on a level that, like, man, he had like theater level
Yeah, yeah.
abilities.
I've
like,
heard,
he could
man.
have been as
Ugh.
big as like Sebastian, or
Man.
like, or like, people on that level, or like Dane Cook when Dane Cook was as big as he was, or like even Ron White or someone like that. I mean, he had it all. He had the look, he had the voice, he had the timing, he had his jokes were really simple, well crafted, relatable, like, unbelievable. And but his mind was tortured.
Yeah.
And art is a very hard thing to deal with. Perception, art, it's hard.
And not to make this about me, but right now when you started going into like how great he was, I got a little had to choke back some stuff because I didn't really know the guy, and honestly I don't think I ever saw him live, or I'm very familiar with his comedy, but I've heard about him for years from people and just sort of the outpouring of love and support after his passing. And then I guess I was moved by the idea of I don't know, just that dichotomy of a person who is, just the art struggle of insecurity, and now that I think about it, just watching that Taco Bell clip, I can feel that, and from just seeing him perform, and I guess it reads as authenticity, it reads as authentic, and like, to people who are maybe numb to looking deeper than a surface level appearance, they feel it as that it's that X factor, I guess. But that X factor, people can never really put their finger on what that X factor is, and I think we may have just hit something with that X factor is an authenticity. I think, and I may be completely wrong, but that X factor is pain, is inner pain or inner struggle, or
Not always, but yeah, but
not
it
struggle.
it does help.
Well, can I say struggle, not pain, but some sort of struggle, whether it's a mental struggle, a physical struggle, a socioeconomic struggle, a money struggle. That struggle, behind the eyes of an artist is to me at least a percentage of what X factor is.
I mean, it definitely helps, I'm not going to deny that it helps, but I can also think of artists that have been successful that have the X factor, that are like, come from good families, come from money.
Yeah, but
there's
still struggle in those, and there's still an obstacle in that. Even if you're, even people that are rich have to deal with themselves at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I think it's capturing the, I think it's the X factor for me is capturing the, the raw emotion of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who struggle with their mind, they end up having a hard time with it,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who are successful and can handle it. People like Rick Rubin, for example,
Yeah.
heavy meditator,
Yeah.
heavy, thinker, heavy reflector. He's beating it in a way, you could say.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah. No,
Because
for
he certainly
sure.
hasn't struggled since 1989 or 90. I mean, he's with money. I mean, maybe with
Well,
thinking,
I don't,
but
but I don't. Yeah, I don't mean like physical struggle. I mean all of its incarnations. I mean, every possible facet of struggle. I mean, I guess that's just to be human.
yeah, but I don't
right?
think
That's
he's
just- that's
experienced. I don't
human.
think he's experienced. I don't think he's experiencing. I mean, maybe I'm just a super fan, but like I'm just looking at him from the other side. People like Spike Jones. People
Yeah, but
like
we
Rick
don't. We don't
Rubin.
ultimately know what's in their mind. When they're alone.
I mean, you're right, but you can listen to interviews and you can talk to people who've worked with them and people who are around them a lot, and it's like, okay, maybe they are, but also you have to understand there probably are some people who can walk the line.
Yeah.
And they can understand the mind, and they don't have the pain, but they understand the pain. Maybe they can channel the pain from other people. Maybe they can.
So do you think? I mean, okay. So let's just do I'm gonna try to make a small list. Maybe I'll keep it to 3 things that are parts of when we refer to X Factor for performers. And that's just like I would say like an authenticity that is like almost like a climate in a room, like like if a room is hot, you can literally feel that it's hot, or if it's cold. Like there are some people that get on stage that I've seen that can change that feeling in a room where everybody's feeling it. I don't know what the fuck that is. That might be cosmic shit. So that would be maybe I would say this talent. Fuck, I don't know. This is hard. I was gonna say, so I'll just go full on talent, work ethic. I would say pain or struggle, and then some sort of cosmic, like magic that people refer to as God or whatever that we can't put a finger on. That is it's the same way that like I can't explain to you like the bio nature of like how of life or whatever, the beginning of consciousness.
Right.
Or
Or consciousness, or in general, what is consciousness?
God, but I'm fascinated with this because we do see those people like that fucking just have it. I mean, I've seen comedians do it, that even no-name people I've never met that you see and you're like, damn, they got something. There's a difference. But then is there a difference between, because I've always thought, there are those comics who just have it, and then there are people like who have had to fucking fight like tooth and nail to get just near it, not even around it, but just like not even close to it, I guess. But it's like, what is that? I don't know. This is a hippy dippy talk, but I'm interested in your thoughts on this.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think I think
I
it's
like this
something
shit
that,
though.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's something that everyone should be thinking about, and a lot of comics don't. To be honest with you, and that's another thing. If you would have talked to someone like Patrice O'Neill about something like this, I think his answers would have been a lot smarter than you'd probably give him credit for.
Oh, for sure. I liked his answers
And-
a couple times about comedy and what it should be and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably a lot more esoteric than you can imagine, where it's just
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
It is like making a baby.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you put sperm and an egg together and you make a baby, but it's like, but how?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
that timing of making people laugh and that understanding of what makes people laugh is something that I don't know if you can put it in an equation. It can come from so many different angles. It's like religion.
I'm reminded of Insane Clown Posse, where they got so much shit for that lyric of saying, fucking magnets, how do they work? Like everybody was like, yeah, magnets. But then I heard like Violent J talking about it, and he wrote that line like from watching his like kid like playing with magnets, and it's like, yeah, it's a dumb, like you can totally But fucking, can anybody without looking it up right now tell me how fucking magnets work? Like, we know it's
Right.
scientific, but like, good luck verbalizing that and putting it into a context where like a person like just a regular everyday person can understand. Who has that
Right.
skill is Neil deGrasse Tyson. That guy can fucking
Of course.
a kid can understand it, and then the most smart person can get it. But
There's great YouTube videos. There's great YouTube videos, and maybe we'll watch one for the next. Maybe we'll watch some of these for the next Patreon,
Cool.
where scientists explain science in 3 levels. They're
I love it,
explaining
dude.
it to an 8-year-old. Here,
I get
they
hard when I
explain,
hear that shit.
they explain gravity to an 8-year-old. They explain gravity to a high school student, and then they explain gravity to a PhD student.
I love it. Damn.
And it's true. And the comedy is the same. Someone like, you think someone like Joe Rogan, who's been, I'm just saying, or Bill Burr, who's been in the game for that long, 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years of professional
Yeah.
comedy, professional. What we strive to do now, they were doing 30 years ago.
I know, man. I just got this vinyl for this band called Con 800, which was a band from Hermosa Beach. Their demo came out in '82, and the members, the famous members, were Fletcher from Pennywise, this Doug Carrion from The Descendants, and this guy Robbie Rogers, who's like a Hermosa Beach sort of legend who's played in a bunch of bands there. But I was tripping on that. I was like, man, 82. I was born in '87, so 5 years before I was even fucking alive, these guys were playing music, like, making demos and stuff, and like that to me is just like, it's a trip. They were already doing the thing before I was a twinkle in my parents' eye, and so yeah, I mean, God, there's so many things here. What we're kind of getting at right now is and we'll get into, but one of my notes was, and I was talking to Ryan J. Ebelt about this a couple months back, was about our sort of, not our disdain, but our like not understanding of people without curiosity, and how that is like sort of a deal breaker with the people that we have in our lives. Like, if you have a lack of curiosity, whatever it is, like, I can't really deal with you. Like, whatever your curiosity is, but just sort of a lack of wanting to learn, and a lack of like this wide-eyed childlike curiosity, to me, is a necessity for me to be a friend to you, or you to be my friend. Like, and sort of what we're talking about, that is like this like deeper this deep dive into the things that we really like fanaticism over comedy, over music, over conversation or science, or like things like that. So maybe fanaticism is also a building block of X Factor. These people who,
Yeah.
but
Curiosity, that's a good I think curiosity is a good one, because if you think about artists or musicians, comedians, it's like, the best ones are just looking for that next thing. The best ones are curious and experimental, and digging for the next thing. They're looking for a growth.
Yeah.
They're looking to become, I don't know, and I just think a lot of I think a lot of like the artists that I really don't like are just, they think they're like, this is what I want to do, and it's because I like this band, I want to do this kind of music. And it's like, well, your band that you like, that's not actually what they were doing. They were doing their own thing.
Yeah, for sure.
They were just they were looking for something new.
Yeah.
They were exploring. They were out there. They were like putting themselves out there. Not like, they weren't like, I like the Beatles, so we're going to make songs like the Beatles.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
That's not going to get it done in your own mind. That's not going to bring you to the point of enlightenment.
Yeah, it's man, that's exactly my topic today, was about well, it's a couple things, but before I move into that, was like, I've been thinking about it from a creative standpoint, where like I want to make punk music and sort of hardcore music, but almost now, even with this record player having that, it's not necessarily the music I want to sit around and listen to right now at the moment. I like it, and every now and then I get, I do listen to it, but I'm almost wanting to find inspiration from completely different genres. Like, I mean, but you take a band like X, right? Like, I just got their vinyl. I got Los Angeles on vinyl, and they're an interesting sort of, they're different, man. They're considered punk, and from all accounts, were the best band in LA at the time that they were around. And I've been lucky enough to see them live before, and they're amazing. But they're not necessarily fitting that mold of like what has been is the word codified or codified as like the genre of punk, quote unquote. And even a band like Black Flag, where they got into like the weird sort of stoner Black Sabbathy later on, and even did an album called The Process of Weeding Out, which was literally trying to weed out the fans. Like, you don't like this, well then we're doing different shit. And I know that fans were pissed and sort of like would try to fight the band and be like, you guys are fucking like hippies now, and you sold out, and you almost to violent behavior from people who used to like them because they wanted to keep carving out a different path. And I think you're right, the bands that we look up to, they didn't give a fuck about rules. And I don't have a problem with bands that say here. In fact, I respect a band that says, yeah, we're trying to be the Ramones. We're trying to, this was our version of that. This is what we're trying to do. My problem is with bands that are ripping off the Ramones and Black Flag and those bands that try to hide it and they try to act like they're doing something original. If you're not original, I remember my buddy saying like, yo, like he heard AFI and he was like, whoa, that band's like just ripping off the Misfits. And it was like, okay. But, they've said it like they really enjoyed not ripping off the Misfits, but they were absolutely influenced by that band. Or
Well, I think we've talked about this before, but the term pastiche.
Exactly.
And I'm a huge fan of pastiche.
Me too.
But I also know that like, that's its own form of art though.
Absolutely.
As well. Pastiche is like, okay, I'm gonna do like because I'm as a graffiti artist, I would never try to do something new. In terms of style, because to me, graffiti is New York 1980s style. Like it's never gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go put it down in the city and nothing new there. I like block letters. I like big block letters, and I like to put it in illegal spots. But
well, that's a method.
That's a genre.
Well, the style was dictated by the act because you couldn't be there that long. So like throw ups and shit like that, the way that things are filled in, there is a reason for why the shit looks that way. That's interesting too.
But I'm not. But I I like that. And
me
that's
too.
the style
Me
I like.
too.
Like,
yeah.
I don't like like this new wave of like graffiti. That's I don't like the evolution of graffiti.
What do you think about like
Mir
like people like Mir One who are almost like
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I like Cope. I like Veefer.
Yeah.
I like Scuff. I like Cags. I like I like MQ. I do like Cap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
I do like Cap. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I get it.
Scene has one of the coolest throw ups, man.
Oh, it's amazing. And
So
just the
simple
process.
looking.
I think graffiti is a lot like comedy, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't really be trying to reinvent it as much as trying to stay as pure, as close to the pure essence of it that you'll never find. And that's what I was going to say about Joe Rogan or like Chappelle or like Bill Burr. These guys have been doing comedy a long time. They haven't found it yet. And I guarantee you, if you ask them, they'd be like, I'm on a mission to find out what the essence of comedy is. Like, I'm still looking for it. I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
I have some ideas, and I think that's the mentality of like.
Yeah, I don't think you ever find it. I think when you
Of
find
course
it,
you don't.
you're dead.
It's
it's fucking.
It's the journey.
Yeah.
Because infinity is, there's no end to the universe. Like, you can just keep going. There's no end to consciousness. And you can be simple in your actions, like punk rock, but you can be infinite in your experiences, just like meditation.
Yeah.
You can just be looking for that, whatever it is, that's punk. You're looking for it.
Yeah. Man, so
with a pure intention, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because this actually, our talk right now kind of just evolved into exactly what my notes said. I mean, I had I was talking about sort of, so we have that side of the coin, but then also I was thinking about like knowing your history of whatever it is you're doing and having respect for that history. And you know, I was I'm trying to figure out a way to say this without making a blanket statement. It feels like uh, I don't really know how to say. I'll say this and then we'll work backwards. Um, I know I feel like okay, when I was a teenager and I got into punk, I I like the new bands, but also I feel like I was really into learning about what came before. I was really, like I definitely did a deep dive on what came first. You know, you hear the Sex Pistols, you hear the Ramones, you hear um Black Flag, all those bands, and they weren't lame to me. I wasn't like, "Oh, this is old stuff." I was putting it on and rocking out to it like it was just my music. It was what I liked. It was still was for me. Now I feel, and I know this is a complete blanket statement because I know that there are pockets of kids who still do this, and I've seen it mostly with the new hip hop genre, is this sort of non-interest in what has come before.
Yeah.
And I know that of course, there are backpack kids and there are kids that are still, digging Jay Dilla and doing stuff in an analog way all over the place. But there is, I would be lying if I didn't feel. I feel, this is my own personal opinion, like there is this trend of not caring, or that the things that came before were lame, and and that sort of behavior. Now I say that knowing that when punk came out, whatever, even proto or whatever, like late 60s, early 70s, even all the way to 77, 78, all that, what did have this kill your idols sort of mentality, and like death to rock stars, death to the old, this is a new rebirth. And so I see the similarities in that. But so the conversation that I was thinking of was I wanted to know your thoughts on that, on sort of the importance that I feel that comes from knowing your history, and respecting your forefathers, foremothers, for theys, but also trying to create new territory, and where does that line lie? Because I think that it's interesting, because I wonder if these kids who are making this stuff, who don't give a fuck about the past, are creating something completely new and different, and will have merit and matter in the future, or if they're missing the mark somewhat, because they're not paying attention to history, and maybe they think they're coming up with something original that has already been done before because they don't know where it came from. So I'll let you talk for a bit, and then I'll form some of my thoughts. This is all so artsy and like it's esoteric, but I'm here for it. I want to.
I mean,
this.
It's a podcast, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, you know what I mean.
I know. I guess I'm just I
think it's good.
Yeah, and I'm creating sort of a like. An abstract painting of words, trying to like step away from it and see if I've created anything,
If anything, you should own it and have an opinion about it. You know what I mean? Like, because you're obviously thinking about it. It's like, I don't really have a thought on that, because.
Well, my thought is that if you're telling me if you think I should have an opinion, my thought is that I don't. My own opinion is that I don't like the attitude that everything that came before, whatever is new, sucked or was corny, and having no interest in what came before, I think is not good. I think it's not good. Good is a wrong word. I think that it's dismissive, and not the attitude that I think should be had, referring to art and stuff like that, because I think that knowing your history can only help. That's my opinion.
I remember hearing about somebody. I don't know who it was exactly, saying that they didn't give a fuck about Nas, Illmatic. They never listened to it in their life. You know.
Yeah.
And one of these newer rappers. I can't. I don't want to say. I think I know who said it, but
Do you
I
want
don't
me to
want
look
say
it
their
up
name
while you're talking?
Nah, who cares?
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's just like the point was, you had to go out of your way to say. You know what I mean? Like, so that Nas is important to people.
Yeah, true that.
And you had to go out of your way to say, well, I don't care about Nas. Fucking who gives a fuck? But you make hip hop music. It just, I don't know. It is a weird one.
Yeah, because that statement is
comedy,
almost like, it's kind of cool too, because it's like, the fucking Joe Strummers and the Johnny Rottens and all that of the world were also kind of saying that, like, fuck these guys. These guys are whack. Like, but I think they were saying that about a lot of commercial music. I think they would even, respect the bands that were actually, they felt like were authentic. But so
I don't have an opinion on it, but I think the people that I respect a lot more are people like Questlove, who literally know every single artist out.
Yeah.
They even know the lame shit. He probably knows all the
sure.
Nickelback albums. He probably knows every single one because he's like, well, I'm at least going to like listen to it, And I did that. I listened to that U2 album. I wanted to hear it. Like everyone's like bitching about the U2 album they put on the iPhone. I was like, I'm going to listen to this. I just want to hear it like one time. So it's so easy to find music nowadays.
Yeah.
I just find it so strange that you wouldn't listen to fucking Illmatic. Like you never listened to it. Like that was the one that really caught me. It wasn't like I listened to it. It's not for me. Like I can see why people like it. It's a different era.
Yeah.
I'm not that into 90s hip hop, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, if you're a musician and you're like, oh, I have no idea. I never really listened to Kiss. Fuck Kiss. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
It's just right there. It's especially nowadays. It's right there. It's on YouTube. You can't just spend. What do you do with your life? And I bet those people just listen to their own music. They're like, I just listen to my own music. I just like whatever I do. I ride around in my car just like listening to my own music. And I'm like, all right, well, your view on life is insane. Like all these, especially with like comics who don't know other comics. I mean, just like they don't watch other comics. I'm just like, dude, all I do is when I'm at a club, I watch every comic. I just want to see who's who.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a trip too when you're like at open mics and you see a couple stragglers who you never see around like the scene, and they just like pop, sometimes if they're funny then they get accepted and it's like they're welcomed in pretty quickly. But I've seen just like those fringe rider people that are like, they just kind of pop in every now and then. Anyway, that's off topic. But I was on the topic of somebody saying something like that about Illmatic. It's like it's one thing for these people, say like whatever, these punk bands to say, death to rock stars, death to this and that, but now with something like Illmatic that is sort of undeniable, it is hard to hear that, to be like, I could say fuck this and that to something that maybe is up in the air or people have like, varied opinions about. But I feel like there are certain things that as a society we have kind of agreed upon being important,
But I mean, I think that they were just saying that they were younger and they were just saying like, I didn't grow up on that. I grew up on like whatever the next generation or the generation after that's version of Illmatic was, whatever that was, like
808s and Heartbreak.
I don't even know.
No, that seems to be.
It probably was.
Yeah,
it probably was Kanye. Yeah, it probably was Kanye West. Yep. Yeah. You're right. Whoever it was probably like Kanye West is their fucking savior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 808s and Heartbreak. I don't love it as a record, but I know that inspired like a huge wave of like a lot of these new hip hop artists, like Lil Uzi Vert has talked about it, and I think that just sonically it makes sense.
It could have been someone like Lil Uzi Vert or someone like, I don't know many of the new guys at all, but like it could have been someone like that. I remember just seeing the clip about it. It probably came up on OK Player or something like that. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I really think Kanye's amazing, and that's a good example. Like, I don't like Kanye. Like,
yeah, me either.
I don't fuck with Kanye like that, but like, I'll give him a lot of credit because he's a dope. His music speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. His catalog is really good.
And he does do kind of what we were saying, where he's not.
Yeah.
He's making new stuff that maybe people don't even like, but it's like just what he feels like making, kind of. That is interesting.
He's also like he's only one of the few pastiche artists in hip hop that I can think of, except maybe Pharrell is probably on that tip too, where they really patch together a lot of like obscure references, and like Kanye, I don't know if he would say this, but he really has never had an original thought in his life, but he's just really, really good at digging deep, which is fine. I mean, I don't think Quentin Tarantino has ever had an original thought in his life, and maybe no artist has had an original thought in their life.
Yeah.
But what makes Kanye great is he digs so deep into references that, you can't really always figure out and this goes with his fashion as well. Like he's definitely like not a fashion icon. He knows where to look.
Yeah.
And when he puts stuff together, he's clearly pulling references from, deep, obscure. He does his research, he does his homework, and I think he's passionate about that. And I know with music, he works with a lot of people, and he covers a lot of ground, and he's definitely tuned into what's hot all over the globe. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's aware of a lot of different things, and so I respect that. I really do. I respect that.
Yeah, it's it's I fucking I got lost for a second. I'm not high, I swear. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding that I'm not high.
I mean, whatever. We're at 45 minutes, so you
no,
can
that's
start
okay.
To wind,
no,
you
no,
can
no.
wind it down.
I was I had some sort of thought. What it is like I have a thought, and then I'm not listening to you because I don't want to forget that thought, and I go, well, you should be engaged right now, and then I engage, and then I completely forget my thought, and so that's just part.
Sounds like you're fucking dumb. Sounds like you're not very smart.
Whoa.
Like you can't keep a thought and engage, but
it's
whatever.
hard. Yeah, it's hard. I that's maybe why I talk so much, because I'm afraid that if I don't say it quickly enough, I'm gonna forget. But
it does feel like if I cut you off in the middle of saying something deep and then talk for 13 seconds, you completely come back like, wait, where was I?
No, but I like hearing you talk, because sometimes it prompts some other like thought in the same direction anyway, and usually I come back to it. But
I just enjoy roasting you. You know what I mean? I just enjoy
that's fine. I love it, man.
Giving you the negative. I like just enjoy. Speaking of which, maybe we should read some of these negative reviews that you've been getting on the Apple.
Have I been getting negative reviews?
No.
Oh.
I should have made one up. That would have been tight.
That's funny, man.
But yeah, that reminds me, all the listeners, thanks for leaving reviews. If you go on the Apple, if you go on the podcast, I don't know, you can always leave a 5-star review. You can leave a little message in there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We won't see it, but maybe we'll start having a look at it.
For sure. I was on the same topic. I was also thinking about like I've sort of been thinking about the people that I've always looked up to or admired, and writing that line between really admiring and loving and being passionate about the work they made, and being careful to not turn them into a god, not making them into an idol themselves, and just sort of realizing that even these people that I look up to are human. So that's also been a thing I've been thinking about a lot, like being careful not to put humans on a pedestal, really, and that art is sort of a living, breathing thing that makes mistakes and can do good. It's a all-encompassing sort of thing. At least good art is a ball of is very human in its best sort of sense, but sort of respecting the history and loving the things that come before, but also not creating gods, because I think when that happens, then even that even can create change to the artists that you like, where they start to believe this God complex, and then their art sucks because they think that they're above any sort of thing like that. Judgment.
Ooh, sounds like you're talking about someone specifically.
No, it's like, in the case of Kanye, it's like, Kanye said that his biggest regret is that he'll never be able to see himself perform. And I mean, that if anything, that is the fans getting to the person where now they're believing their own bullshit, So we got to be.
I'll be honest with you, man. That would be one of the funniest things if Kanye was doing this all like Andy Kaufman style.
Yeah.
He would literally be like the greatest artist. He would be the greatest artist of all time. He would be.
Yeah.
That would be 100% the greatest artist of all time.
What about if we found out Trump was like a Andy Kaufman?
That would be the next. But I mean, not really, because you can't really be in a position of true power. Like I don't believe, like Kanye isn't like president has a job. You know what I mean? You can't
But say we get like these.
I was just joking around.
Yeah. Say we get these behind the scenes like like videos of Trump, like he's like looks completely different. He's like bald. That whole thing's like a wig, and he's like, all right, like I know this is fucked up, but this is part of the experiment. I got to do this right now, and this I'm gonna go into 8 hours of makeup, and then we have to speak to the press this week. This is gonna happen.
That's so good. That's like so beyond the idea of like actually possible that it's like I can't even like comprehend it. You know what I mean? Like
I
there's
know.
just there's no possible way.
That'd be a good movie, though, right?
That would be interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this.
Again, like to me, it wouldn't be a good movie because it's not close enough to like it's not genuine enough to be like I couldn't capture people's imagination because you'd have to, you know what I mean?
At
like,
that point, it's just an evil act.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, it's the same thing as it's the same thing as just lying to the American people. It's like you're at a certain point you're lying and you're hurting people. So it's like
I mean, it is basically what they're doing anyway, but
yeah,
you're
right.
Not in a cool way. They're doing it like they are full of shit, lying like
yeah, but we're thinking about
people.
it as like an art project about like
right.
Behind the scenes fucking BTS videos. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, but they're thinking of it as like trying to like disrupt the climate laws to be able to like drill oil in the Arctic when the fucking ice caps melt and shit.
It ain't Nathan for you or fucking Ali G at a certain point. Yeah, it's it ain't a Sunday night where you're eating popcorn and going, damn, this is crazy. It's our lives.
Speaking of great artists, like on that tip though, the Nathan for you tip made me think of this. Have I asked you this? Have you seen that new HBO special? Is it called John Does Things? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I don't know. That sounds cool though.
It's made by it's executively produced by Nathan Fielder.
Okay. Let me see.
It's hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I like that because on the last Sacha Baron Cohen thing, the Who Is America or this whatever it was called, Nathan was like a writer on that, and I was like, oh, of course, like he is a veteran in the business of those sort of pranks, and that business.
It's called How To with John Wilson.
How To with John. No, I'm on it, dude. That's cool.
It's on HBO. It's really really cool. You're gonna love it.
Give me a quick explanation of that. Yeah.
Well, it's basically this guy. I don't even really want to give it away too much. Because
okay, just text me the thing and I'll watch it after.
It's one of those shows where I'll just say this: you kind of really question how he's making it. You're like, wait, how is he even doing this? Like, this is the way it's made is so unique and creative.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, as you continue to watch the show, you get to know the guy making it a lot better, and you start to realize how he's making it, what it is, and stuff. So I don't want to say anything
damn,
because
cool. That's exciting.
The show is like extremely meta.
It's on HBO.
It's on HBO. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
And,
I'll check that out.
And it's really really good. It's really good. It absolutely like captured me. And I'm not the type of person to like really. I can't think of really another show.
Yeah, those things are far between, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. Especially now with like everybody wanting to make television because we're in the the golden age of television. So now everybody's making television. There's so much fucking TV just being shoved up our asses every fucking day.
Yeah. Some of it consensually.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. And what about WandaVision? Have you watched that yet?
No, it looks really great visually. I need to go back and because I fell off of like the Avengers thing at some point, and now I'm like I don't even remember it enough. So I should just start.
I watched it and I didn't even know it was an Avengers thing. I didn't know it was a comic book thing. I've never watched a superhero thing in my life.
Oh, okay. Then it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay, cool.
It took me up to episode 6 where I was like, oh, is this
cool.
a superhero thing? And then I started to watch some YouTube videos about it, and I was like learning about the backstories, and I was like, oh. But
cool.
No, it's incredible. But I guess it does kind of help if you know a little bit about.
Well, I've been meaning to finish
the characters Wanda,
yeah,
and the Vision. That's pretty much it.
I've been meaning to finish the Avengers series too, just because people seem to really like it, and I read some of the comic books like the Civil War ones and stuff when they were coming out. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks dope. It looks visually awesome.
Oh, it's really cool. It's really well made. It's super creative, and it actually made me want to get into comic books because, man, the stories in comic books are really amazing.
Oh
you know?
yeah, man.
It's hard to
there's some cool
translate
shit.
that.
Did you ever read The
It's really hard.
Watchmen?
No, I never watched any. I never read any comic books except the Fantastic Four. That was pretty
Yeah,
much
The
and
Watchmen was
Mad Magazine. if that
The
counts.
Watchmen is great because it was it's Alan Moore. It's this crazy.
Sure, I know who he is.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
who he
yeah.
is,
But it's really good, man. I read it twice, and one right before the movie came out, I wanted to like rewatch it again. And what I'll say is like upon watching the movie another time is that it's an okay movie. It's just you can never really adapt that book ever. Alan Moore said it was impossible, and
right.
so they would have to do it like The Wire. That would be the only way where it'd be like 5 fucking seasons that are like so dense and intense that dense and intense. Wow, that's a good duo name.
Sounds like a Crisscross album.
That's right. But yeah, anyway, reading is good. I just finished the Keith Morris book. Now I'm on to see what my next fucking venture is. I have some wings brining in the fucking fridge right now. I went to so here's a quick little rant. We got 2 minutes. This store, this 365 by Whole Foods store near me used to be a Ralph's, which I loved, and now this hipster ass. They didn't have frozen wings, like it just frozen wings in a bag, and I'm like, who the fuck? That's a bare minimum level of a market to have. But I guess what they do is they do a statistic based on what items are selling the most at all the Whole Foods, and then that's what they choose to sell at this 365. And I don't understand like how you don't have fucking wings. They had the raw ones, which I bought, so now I'm doing this whole process. But that, and then as soon as I walk, there's always some fucking hipster ass couple that comes out, dressed so cool, and I'm in my fucking bullshit pajamas. I never got this whole like you gotta look cool all the time. Fucking, I don't understand it. I used to get mad at like these punk rockers who like they never just wear pajamas. Like even their flip flops have like skulls on them, or like they have like a cool cheetah print, like pajamas, like punk pajamas, and I'm like, don't you ever just put on a shirt and some fucking running shorts to go to the market, like, and just look dumb? Like every item in your closet is backing this look that you have for the last fucking who knows how many years. Like you I don't get it. I don't have enough time, and I don't do it. There are some times where I just throw on an old t-shirt and some dumb Adidas running shorts with holes that I've had. But even that is like a look, I guess. But I've never felt like I've had a look. I don't have the time or interest in whatever. I guess I dress like a skateboarder, I guess. But even that, I've never really put any thought into it other than a t-shirt that I think is cool and a pair of pants that are not too tight so my balls don't hurt. And that's it. And some
There you go,
regular
ladies
shoes.
and gentlemen. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our newest segment. It's called The Fuck.
Yep, that's
The
right.
fuck?
Sorry. I was really angry about it today, and now I'm fucking...
That's our newest segment. It's called The Fuck, and today's was the fuck you doing? Always looking good. Wear some
Yeah.
fucking pajamas.
Yeah.
Cool segment.
But even my bathing suit
Cool
is
segment.
punk. I got a Misfits this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, sorry that I have fucking regular shorts today. Anyway.
Hey Jim, can you go to the store and get us some eggs? Fuck no, I don't have any manic panic in my hair.
Exactly. I got to put up my mohawk. I got to fucking... Dude, yeah, I don't get it, dude. It's, ugh. But, big ups to
It's
them
like a
for
bad
having...
loop.
They
It's
have...
a bad.
Ugh.
It's a bad loop. They're like, can you go get us some eggs? He's like, no, because I can't put my mohawk up without eggs, and we don't have the eggs, so I can't.
Their head explodes, dude. That's it, and then it's over. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna make these fucking hot wings for lunch.
Nice.
That's it, man. I would say in signing off, my last thing is I was just thinking about sort of like keep a unorthodox mentality. Try to question things, and don't let your schooling get in the way of good art, whatever it is. Try to unlearn some stuff. Needs to be unlearned, I think. And that's it. Keep making stuff. Quit judging. Quit leaving negative things all over the world, and just anytime you want to say something shitty, just go make something good that you're either proud of or at least working towards just creating stuff. Who gives a shit? Anyway, That's it. Do you have anything you want to say, Deary?
That's it, man.
Well, there it is, guys. Thank you to everybody. Thanks to all the sponsors. Hot Pop Hot Sauce, Tie Dye Company, Addicted to Chaos, Luca Clothing. This one company sent me a hat. I don't know how to say it. Oddies Original, Oddies, Oddies. Check them out on Instagram. They're nice. They sent me some cool shit. And that's it, guys. Thank you to the Patreon people for at least being a part of something. We're building slowly, and we love you guys. And we'll see you next week.
Gunshots on a gun, I don't wanna be. Guilt trip, these drugs are inside of me. This is not where I wanna be. This is not who I wanna be. And these words I